Toy Story is directed by John Lasseter and stars Tom Hanks, Don Rickles, Jim Varney, and Tim Allen as the spaceman himself, Buzz Lightyear. So what's the story? Woody, played by Tom Hanks, is going through serious jealousy issues when his owner Andy gets a Buzz Lightyear action figure for his birthday. When Woody botches an attempt to get rid of Buzz, they find themselves on an adventure that forces these toys to put aside their differences and work together to find their way back home. Full disclosure, this is probably the movie that I have the most nostalgia for. I put this movie on and I kind of time travel back to my childhood like that food critic from Ratatouille. So just to get it out of the way, I have a big giant bias for this movie. However, with that being said, I believe that this movie is without a doubt worth all the nostalgia that I have for it. Not only for just how good the movie is in and of itself, but also the impact that it has left on other movies coming after this. First off, let's talk about the animation. Pixar is no slouch to good animation, except for maybe The Good Dinosaur, and this movie set precedent for that reputation. If you look at the credits, Steve Jobs is attached to this film because he knew that these filmmakers were going to use the technology for something that has never been done before, and he wanted to be the one to say, yeah, my technology was attached to that. Now, obviously, since this movie came out in 1995, the movie has its share of limitations, specifically with the human characters. They are absolutely horrendous. I'm talking Andy, I'm talking the mom, Sid, even that dog are all but ugly. However, you only see them for a few seconds at a time. This movie wisely keeps the story focused on the toys, because that's where the animation was the strongest. They figured, hey, our characters look plastic anyways, so let's make them actual plastic things. And so while if you look closely enough, you can definitely see flaws in the animation, they highlight their attributes in such a way that it draws your attention away from the cracks. Now let's talk about the humor. I love this movie as a kid, but watching it as an adult makes it even more fun because you get to pick up on the little jokes that you dropped along the way. Woody calls Buzz Mr. Lightbeer. Mr. Potato Head's character very slyly makes a butt-kissing joke. And I think we can all agree that the only thing stopping Bo and Woody from having a kid is that this is one of the funniest movies I have ever seen, and it has a G rating. It can please kids and adults just fine, and I like movies that it doesn't matter who you are, you can enjoy this movie. Another thing that Pixar just nailed right off the bat is making grown adults cry over things that don't need you to cry over. You know, nobody cares about a toy, but hey, Pixar made sure, no, we're gonna write them in such human fashions, you will care about them by the end of it. These toys experience jealousy, grief, even an existential crisis in the sequel. These inanimate objects are given such care and such love that a lot of times they feel more human than most human characters you see in movies. It blows my mind how after 20 years of watching this since the VHS days, just how this movie still resonates with me and so many other people. It's quite obvious why they're making a Toy Story 4, because it has that big of an impact. While the animation isn't perfect, they wisely highlight their attributes in a certain way that you hardly ever notice its flaws. The humor makes it so kids and adults can enjoy this movie collectively. And finally, this movie sets the bar for making its audience feel emotion over even just the smallest of things. And I'm gonna give Toy Story a 10 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm Higgs, this been my flick, and I'll see you next time with Toy Story 2.